On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I are back here at the mics, and we got a great show for you this week. I don't know if it's a great show. We've both been going through some troubles, and listen, our troubles and our suffering is entertainment for you. So we hope you enjoy that. We're going to talk a little wrestling. We're going to talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat 1 because I'm interested in that. I got a snack food that you just should not try. And Kidder and I dive into the nostalgia well to talk about a game we used to play in high school. Get ready for a great episode. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, porpoises, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay?
Oh, come on. Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast hosted by a farm simulator enthusiast and one of the only three honest men in Medora. I'm your host, the ever-living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Jaco, it's another show, bro. So let's go.
I was going to see if you continued the rhyming scheme, but clearly not.
Went off on my own tangent. Which is usually what happens when farm sims end up coming into play or question. I go from the farm field to the mowing simulator to the construction simulator to the job simulator. Back and forth, over and under.
Yeah, no wonder you're always tired. You're like working like 6 jobs, man.
Yeah.
Are you getting paid like you're working 6 jobs, though? That's the real question.
I'm not. No. I'm lucky these lights are on. Let's be honest.
Well, I was going to say, you seem a bit darker than normal. Well, there, now that you like slid back, your camera adjusted and it's, you know what it is, Kidder? It's your radiant personality.
Yes.
It's affecting the camera. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so bright. We got to turn down the background, people. We don't want to blind the audience.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe. I could go get a hat if we need one.
Hey, I wasn't making it a bald joke. I was talking about just your show, just like your natural charisma and glow. Not, I was playing off the bald jokes, man. It's
I mean, you gotta calm down. My heart's like an open highway here.
Oh, that reference will make sense to people when they see the behind the curtain.
Will it?
Let's see if they remember it. If they're like us, they'll either, skip to the end so that they don't forget about it, or B, they'll do a lot of drinking and forget about it. One of those two things. So, but
anyway, Kidder, something that we should do once you tell me how you're doing. You good?
Well, I mean, I'm here. It's just drove in from Medora.
Boy, are your wheels tired?
They kind of are, man. It was a lot of rain, and you'd hit these bits of bursts, and like people would be like, "Oh my gosh, it's raining! I'm going to slow down." It's like, why? You're fine. It will last like a quarter of a mile.
What you should have done is been listening to the called "Here Comes the Rain." Here comes the rain again.
Truthfully, I was having a hard time listening to anything. It's been a day, Kidder. It has been a day, kind of at the end of. It's been a week, and I haven't been in the best of moods. I'm actually kind of glad that the day's almost over. I'm sitting down, I'm chatting with you. Things are looking up, and it's been a lot, and we can get into a little bit more of that in a little bit.
Ooh, juicy details.
Well, not that juicy because can't share all the details, but we'll talk about it. But Kidder, I'm thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time we get to everybody's favorite segment.
The end of the show.
Good night, everybody. No, little thing called What's on Tap. Finally got a theme song. Only took 130 some episodes for us to do that. Yeah.
Well, let's not settle on that. I mean, it's kind of like a rough first draft. You know, you want to just put the pen to the paper, try a little bit of this, a little bit of that, call up Clinton Cannon again, and get another lost year back together. The band's back together. You know, those sorts of things. Get some kind of a real riff. Heavy. Now, or something, you know.
I mean, sure, we'll get right on that.
We're gonna call out Clinton again, aren't we?
Well,
I mean, I did already, but
I mean, it's one of those things. You know, sometimes people forget about us. You know, then we just have to do this. Also, it's a great way to see who's listening. You know, who's tuning in. I will say, Kidder, I uploaded the podcast that came out this morning, and as you know, I always kind of look at our analytics when that happens. We have yet to have any listens from South Korea. Just saying.
Wow, man, you know, I really thought that an episode like 8 that my South Korean joke was very timely, but if nobody has seen it or heard it yet, it's just not timely anymore, and I don't know how we can even make these.
Well, I'm more disappointed that a particular, like, almost the most frequent guest, actually he is the most frequent guest on the show, is now in South Korea and has yet to download an episode. I'm a little hurt.
I mean, even though he's at the top of the list now by default, he just shows up. I don't think he actually watches or listens to this show.
He does a little bit because he always wants to see like how we troll him in the editing. Which I don't know if you saw the thumbnail for this episode, but
it's a good hat.
I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost really happy with the thumbnail. I realized something like as I was loading it up to YouTube. I'm like, I missed something here. I missed the really obvious. I mean, I put you in a nice classy photo of you in the suit. But I missed the opportunity, Kidder. The obvious thing was I should have got one of the photos of you cosplaying in the Star Trek uniform and put that in. That's what should have been. And at that point, I'm like, nope, I have to start work and I don't have time to re-edit this thing. So,
well, hey, I mean, there may be some time here. But upload.
Well, I mean that's a possibility, but my time is kind of
now
scarce.
Your time is up.
Can't see me. I'm a purple cow. I'm not gonna lie, and you already know this. That's what I thought the lyrics were for quite a while. In that, I don't know why he was referencing a purple cow, but
you can't see me. My time is now. Howard's time to drink is now, and then he'll be seeing said purple cow.
Yeah. That's almost as bad as what I used to thought dirty deeds done dirt cheap. For the longest time, just with my hearing, I always thought it was dirty deeds in the Thunder Chief. Thought it had to do with like Native American, oppression. Boy, was I wrong.
Hearing that's being oppressed. It's okay.
Yeah, listen, make things. I was about to open this and I didn't even talk about it. Kidder, we're back to beer in green cans as chosen by Howard's son, Howie Jr. This one's not quite a fully green can, but it's what was at the bottom. But this was one of his picks. This is from the Oscar Blues Brewery. It is a Mass Lima Cerveza. And apologies to all of our Spanish-speaking listeners.
Are offended.
I'm sorry. Please feel free to cancel me at any time. Anyway,
no, don't cancel. We need your pesos and any other form of currency that you may have. Please, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Please subscribe. Please tip. Please buy us a beer.
Or Spanish lessons.
Just for you.
Yeah. This is a lager with lime and salt. It is 5% alcohol by volume. And that's really all I got on here. So this was brewed and canned by the Oscar Blues Brewery. And here you go, Local Geek. You can take your best guess on this because it's either out of Longmont, Colorado, Austin, Texas, or Brevard. Anyway, the most important part is it's North Carolina. I don't do it as well as Peter. I'm sorry.
Just get a couple more of those in there and then start singing it up. Well, you'll end up in North Carolina soon enough.
Yeah, we'll get there. I'll work on it sometime, maybe in the future. Anyway,
here comes the salt.
Definitely has a salty taste. Not overly potent on the lime, but I've had a lot of these lime and salt beers. This one's not as bad. Probably out of the lime and salt kind of selection, I like this the best so far. So it's got just enough of the salt taste, but it's not making it go ugh. Yeah, I'd probably rate this like a 3.5. Slightly above average. Not something I'd want every night, but enjoyable. And we'll see what I get up to in round 2. It is also in a green can. I'm a little bit more worried about it. But Jitter, this is what I'm drinking. What are you drinking?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think this one is going to be less fruity, so I'll go with this one first. This one and likely the second one will also be part of Local Geeks Beer Spy Network. So thank you to those who have smuggled beer across this fine country so we can check off all of the states in this grand country. So thanks. Mm-hmm. This is the Allagash Beach Report. Breaking news, the beach conditions are sunny and blue and golden sand.
And no people. Makes you wonder what's wrong with that beach. There are umbrellas. Mm-hmm. There are no people.
That's just for us to film our episode. And we all know that nobody wants to be there for it. So it's a summer lager. It's bright, refreshing, and balanced, unlike this show. 4.2% alcohol by volume in this thing. That is from Maine. With love. Independent brewers since 1995. And it's the same thing over and over. Okay. Good Surf Warm Rays Chill Beer. The Beach Report Summer Lager is a lager with crispiness to cut through the sun's rays, bright aromas to ramp up the refreshment, and a light snap of hoppiness to keep you coming back for more. Again, it is 1 pint, which is 16 fluid ounces. We're good together. Your support makes possible for us to donate 1% of our revenue and collaborate with local nonprofits to make our community a better place. I mean, 1%? Maybe add a 0 behind it. Just Anyway, it's brewed and canned again by Allagash Brewing Company, Portland, Maine. Not to be confused with Portland, Oregon. One of the armpits of the country. Ball Corporation Aluminum. Look at that. Right about there. Of course, Ball Corporation. Proud supporter, your Colorado Avalanche. All right. Well, I think that's about enough of looking around there. Also wanted to mention, because you referenced the Silver Snakes shirt from Legends of the Hidden Temple. Well, it didn't get all over me, but it got all over the floor and carpet.
I'm sorry about your floor.
Yeah. So that sucks. The sip there has a little bit too many hops with it. So I'm going to hop to it, get this cleaned up. So, Howard.
I'll try and stall. Trying to do a little math for the audience here, and struggling a little bit. We're looking for can. Because Kidder talked about the 1% on his beer. Really, I just want to, and so I'm trying to get the answer. And it's going to tell me no locations with 100 miles. Damn it, Allagash Brewing Company. All I want to know is just how much does your 4-pack cost? You know. Anyway, let's just do some math here. Let's just say that it costs $24.99 for a 4-pack. Since those are the pounders, that comes out to $6.24 a beer. So if we go $6.24 times 0.01, so that means that for each beer sold, the company is donating 6 cents is all. So yeah, 1%, not a whole lot in that case to make anything worth any sort of profit. So there you go. Little beer math. It's a little bit of an estimate because since I don't have a zip code that's within 100 miles where they sell this beer, I can't give you an exact. So doing my best with that. For those who are still wondering, Kidder is still working on cleaning. He's getting out the old disinfectant wipes. He's going to disinfect his carpet. I don't know why you would disinfect carpet. That seems weird. He's actually probably wiping down the counter or something. I'm just being silly at this point. But yeah, it's been a week. I can say that much as I continue to stall. And but what else? What else can we talk about? Getting a lot of rain right now, which makes things interesting. Glad I turned off my sprinkler system. I just needs to get blown out. So everybody, you should be making sure you do that. It's that time of year. What else? I don't really even have like a good interesting story. My life has been kind of work and such. This beer is still good though. I'm enjoying it. It's not as limey and aftertasty as some of the others. So, Kidder knows this, and I'll talk a little bit more. When I am in Medora, and I don't go out all that often, but one of the places I like to go out to is the Little Missouri Saloon. I know the owner. He's a good guy, very friendly guy. One of those, every time I run into him in Medora, he always says, "Welcome home," which I always appreciate. Feels good. But when I've been surprised, I've been there a couple of times now since I've been back out in Medora, and to me, it's just always amazing is the amount of people who order the Sunny D vodka seltzers. Like, it's a thing. Like, there are people drinking multiples of these, and these were we had them on the show. I think they're terrible. I think Kidder thought they were terrible. And it's just surprising that people are thinking that they're good. I said Kidder just took a drink of his beer. He didn't make a big face about it, so I'm guessing it's okay. I'm sure he's going to knock some points off for the spillage. I'm going to guarantee he will knock some points off for the spillage, because that means he had to clean. And, it's Friday night. Nobody wants to be sitting and cleaning and all of that. He wants to be sitting here having a good time. And that's part of why we do this show, to bring you a good time. And you know what? Hey, we'll do some cheap plugs. That's a good thing. One of the ways you can support the show is you can buy us a beer. Hopefully not an angry one that spills all over Kidder's carpet. But that is something you can do. And it's a fun thing that for us, because we get to shout you out on the show and even read your comment, because you can leave a comment on there. And to do that, you just go to beerbluesbs.com. Also, while you're there, we do have a merch store in case you want some merch. We got some good merch. We got some weird merch, and but a lot of it very tasteful and great. And all of that money we do make on that, we put back into the show. So, hey, if you've ever seen our early episodes, they were pretty rough. We continue to improve and get better, and that's all thanks to people who have supported the show that way. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you. Please like, subscribe, share with friends. We're always looking to bring more people into the Triple B family. And you can find us on all of the audio podcasts from here to there. You just pick your favorite audio podcasting service, search for Beer, Blues, and BS. You'll find us. You can take us on the road with you. Let's see. What else do we normally do for cheap plugs? I think that's really it. I mean, we are on social media. You can find us on Facebook. We're on the Instagram. I still don't do Instagram. That's how it goes. So, Kidder is still cleaning, which, he's going to be in a mood after all of this. That's the truth of it. He will be in a mood because Kidder likes to keep his abode neat and tidy, and this is definitely going to cause some shenanigans with that. So, but how are you guys doing? How are you, the audience? How's your day going? I know you're going to be like, Howard, how am I supposed to respond? Hey, you can always leave us a comment. That's fun. Love to see that. What else? I have other stories and such that I would love to talk about, but I don't want to miss Kidder's reaction to them. So that's why I'm trying to stall, but not use all my good material that I thought of while I was driving home from Medora. So, let's see. What else? What else can I stall with? I know Kidder won't care about this. Haven't had an opportunity to watch any more of the live action of One Piece, so I'm looking forward. I'm hoping that since I'm home, clearly I can't do it tonight because I'm recording, so can't watch it tonight. But maybe tomorrow night, the wife and I will sit and watch the next episode. We're still really enjoying it. It's different from the anime, but good. They do a nice job with the cartooniness of it, and yet it's like I'm willing to forgive the changes. It's clearly playing to the medium that it's in, and I can accept that, and I can approve of that, and that makes it enjoyable. I really do like the actor that they cast as Luffy, and also the one they cast as Zoro. Those are excellent choices. And enough of me talking about that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. The one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder! How's the carpet?
Moist. A little bit. Thankfully, I have one of those, let me bring the microphone in. Checking. Thankfully, I have one of those, carpet keeper plastic mats to, protect the carpet. But unfortunately, it doesn't go all the way over here. So, yeah.
So besides angry, how was the beer?
I mean, let me actually try and take a sip of it here. So I wouldn't really give it refreshing. It's like I need more out of it. I don't know. If it didn't piss me off, I probably would have given it like a solid 2.3. But whenever you ruin the set of the triple B, that's automatically minus 5 points. So
I'm laughing because while you weren't able to hear, I said you were going to not get points because it exploded and spilt on your floor.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
And if it makes you feel...
Plus 2 for Howard.
Yeah. Plus, if it makes you feel any better, we did some estimation math. For every can, Kidder, that company donates 6 cents to charity. So, there you go.
Well, at this rate, they're not going to be donating a lot of money to anybody.
Yeah. So, well, I'm sorry to hear about the carpet troubles there, Kidder. That's always a bummer. But it seems to be the territory that we're in these days. For the audience, I wanted to throw this in, Kidder, and I wanted to do it early and apologize a little bit because we've missed a couple of weeks here and there, kind of over the past month of getting content out. In fact, the episode that came out tonight, we recorded the week that we missed the first episode ever being released. Like it was our first week that we missed. And in there, I talked about why we missed. Part of that was I was working an incredibly exhausting schedule, trying to keep up with the podcast, still spend time with my family, and had basically worked myself sick and sleep deprived. We then missed a week because I forgot my hard drive, which contains all of my files and such that I use for editing here in Bismarck. So there was no way to get it. We missed that another week. We actually just missed last week. And that one was because I missed throwing a cable in my bag. And I wasn't going to drive into Dickinson an hour, basically a half an hour in, half an hour back out to get it. And so I just want to say, I do apologize to the audience. If you've come to expect us every week and we've kind of been letting you down, if you don't know the whole situation of what's going on, I'm basically working 2 jobs at the moment. I lost a site supervisor at the beginning of August. So I live for 4 days a week out in Medora, and I get to come home for 3 days. And it's a lot of back and forth, and it's a lot of when I'm home, I try to be home and present with my family. The only time I really don't spend with my family is when I'm recording the Triple B. And the fact that I'm trying to do 2 very complicated jobs at the same time, I'm working a lot of 13, 14-hour days. I've worked a couple of 16-hour days, just trying to keep up and keep things moving. And, and that's just makes it hard to, after working 13 hours to then sit and work a couple of hours editing the podcast. And it has been a tough thing. Been trying my hardest to keep up, but at the same time, I'm worried about my health. For longtime listeners, people who maybe go all the way back to like episode 2, as painful as that episode was to watch, and I hate directing people there, they all tend to know about the health condition I deal with, and I have mentioned it at other times on the show. For those who maybe don't know, 2 years ago, a lesion was found in my spinal cord, and I had a lot of kind of neurological issues because of that. And I still deal with, on a fairly regular basis, a lot of pain in my right leg, especially when tired or stressed. And so if you can imagine, for the last 2 months, I've been in near constant pain through a lot of it. And so, not trying to make excuses, but just explain to you maybe why you don't see episodes show up. It's Howard kind of hitting a wall and trying to take care of himself so that I can keep doing this. And Kidder knows all about it, such. But I just wanted to apologize because I've noticed us lose some subscribers as we've missed some weeks. And I just want to say, for those who are still sticking around and checking this stuff out, I appreciate your patience with that. Also, I'm sorry, Local Geek, if you didn't like the fact that I called you out when you called me out that we missed an episode. He made that comment, and I'm like, he's like, I just wanted to let you know in case there's a problem. I'm like, I know, I just wanted
there's a problem.
Just wanted to joke about it.
Not enough time.
And that's just kind of the truth. And we try to do this for fun, and it's not worth me worsening my health to get this show out. I'm trying, but you might notice some things. Like the episode that launched this week is the first episode that I don't have all of the little chapters, and time codes because I didn't have the cable to when I originally edited it. I just had to kind of cut and piece things where I could. I wasn't going to sit and spend the 2 hours basically rewatching it to get time codes. I have to do some stuff for my own sanity, and that's that. But I wanted to give that explanation. If you've noticed that, the good news is, Kidder, and I can share this because by the time this is out, it's going to be old news. But for you, Kidder, just because, and you're one of the few people who get to know this right at this point. But as of 11:30 today, we hired a site supervisor for the Chateau de Mores. So they are gearing up. We offered them the position. They accepted it instantly. We now, it's going to take them about 3 weeks to get here and get installed. So I still have some time that I'm going to be spending out in Medora, but we're coming to a close on that. And that's a good thing, because once I get that person installed, my workload is going to get cut in half, and hopefully then we can return to being on time and such with everything. So that's coming to a close, hopefully very quickly. So that's the good news of the day. So cheers to that.
I was going to say that maybe we need a countdown clock up here or something, and then I was like, nah, I don't want to suggest that because that's more work. So
yeah, you'd have to make that one. Yeah,
I can make you one, but it's not going to be right.
Probably. So, but yeah, that has been the struggle of late, and I feel bad every time I miss the deadline. But it also means that by the time people see this, it's going to be like a month and a half after we've recorded this, because we now have like the biggest buffer we have ever had. In fact, Kidder, I was trying to think on my drive home tonight, because episode 126 came out. I'm trying to think, what is episode 127? Who was on it, and which episode? Which recording do I need to edit next? So I don't know. I will most likely tomorrow night or Monday night, when I sit down at the computer to download that content so that I can start editing, I'll have to look back and figure out by the dates what was next, because I don't even remember anymore. So that's
it's a surprise for all of us.
It really is. Poor Local Geek, because he is on one of the episodes coming up. But I'm sure he's like, when on earth is this episode airing? So soon, Local Geek. Soon, hopefully. Hopefully, actually, by the time that you see this, it's already out and you've already seen it, and you probably already left a comment, and we appreciate that comment and all of that. So, but Kidder, I feel like I've been talking a lot with all this. How you doing? How's it going?
I mean, it smells like spilled beer. So that's disappointing. It's very sad in the set of the Triple P.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Other than that, well, the beer's not hitting the spot either.
Man, it's rough for you tonight, Kidder. Maybe I can cheer you up with something.
Going down the list of everybody who was fired from WWE.
Well, that's not where I was going to go. I was going to go for some personal suffering, but sure, we could go for a little Schadenfreude, a little, enjoyment at the suffering of others. I will say I've only seen a few people who were let go. I know you sent me some stories, and I looked at them, and I'm like, yes, layoffs. And like, I think a couple of them were listed in the headline of that, but I haven't really had the time to go and look. So, Kidder, tell me, who has been future endeavored?
Well, see, the funny thing is that, Endeavor and WWE merged to come up with the full TKO, and this is the Tony Conning of everyone. TKO. And anyway, so the first round, here we go. Dana Brooke, Quincy Miller, Bryson Montana, Mace, Mansoor, Shanky, Dabba-Kato. So there's 7. And then it continued with Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, Elias. And now I don't know if I should count Elias and Ezekiel. See what it is there? Emma, Mustafa Ali, Rick Boogs, Aaliyah, and Top Dollar.
That is quite the list, and there are some people I'm a little surprised at, because they were doing a whole big push for Rick Boogs. At least the last time I watched WWE, which granted was a while ago. That's a list. Unfortunately for some of those people, I don't know that we're going to get to see a lot of them elsewhere, because some of them I just don't know are that great. There could be a spot for somebody like a Dolph Ziggler to go and do very well. Maybe actually get the push he deserves. But AEW has a huge roster already, so I don't see them picking up a lot of people. I don't see Impact picking up a lot. It's going to be tough, and if they continue to lay off people, there's only so many wrestling spots in the world, so I'm a little worried for some of these folks. So
also Riddick Moss, apparently, added to that list.
That is, that's a list. So, and I'm sure we're going to hear more. I would almost bet money on it, but I'm not even a gambling man. And Kidder, if this becomes a regular segment, then maybe this could become the. Gosh, I hate this joke. The DraftKings screwy layoff of the night.
I can already see it like, whoop, 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 and then like no. Also, Matt Riddle.
Oh, seriously? They let go of Matt Riddle?
Yep.
Ooh.
He announced just tonight. Just wanted to inform everyone, bro, that I'm no longer with WWE. He was in WWE for 5 years, and Dolph Ziggler coming up on 20 years with the company. Shelton Benjamin, not listed as to how many years he was with the company, but he was with the company for quite some time. Also, Dabba-Kato, gone. Ikemen Hero, Ulyssa Leon, Quincy Elliott, Bryson Montana, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Daniel MacArthur, Alexis Gray, Brooklyn Barlow, and Abule Abi Fitzgerald, or Abadi, sorry. They are also no longer there. That is on top of the more than 100 employees, most of whom were off-camera WWE staff, laid off earlier this month as part of their budget cuts, as a combination for Endeavor and WWE merging to TKO. Officially launched September 12th, a valuation of $21.4 billion with a B dollars. Endeavor controls 51% of TKO, while the WWE shareholders own 49% stake.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of had to know layoffs were coming with this. That always happens when companies merge. So sorry for everybody who has been let go. That's a sucky thing to have happen. I'm surprised at them letting go Matt Riddle. I guess I don't know what he's been up to lately, but him and Randy Orton were way over as a tag team, and I think everybody was kind of waiting for them to have kind of the turn and the betrayal on that one. So we'll never get the payoff to that. And I don't know what they'll do with Randy when he comes back. He was kind of in a good spot with that. So we'll see. If Randy does come back, I mean, he's been out now for quite a long time. So,
well, here's the interesting thing with that. Randy Orton reportedly was at the WWE Performance Center this week.
Wow, I am really staying on top of all of this relevant news. Next, you're going to tell me, like, The Rock is back.
You know, it's funny that you say that.
Okay, I knew that one. That was my new take on the. Did you hear about the Sky Bridge at UND?
What? What happened to it?
Apparently, they took it down. You know.
What?
Yeah. That joke still isn't old, folks. Sorry. We'll get there eventually. Just give us like 10, 15 years. Anyway. Well, that's all sad news. Any good news, Kidder, out of wrestling? Anything of interest? Anything what do you know about?
So as part of again, talking about layoffs and whatnot, some of the people from behind the scenes, there were people from the Insights and Analytics team, marketing, graphic design, and live event department, including the Director of Enterprise Master Data and Governance, the Executive Vice President and Head of Marketing, the Executive Vice President of Development and Media, the Vice President of International and Platform Strategy, and then we mentioned it last week right at the end, Dana Warrior, the Community Outreach Department. Gone.
Okay, but I was asking for happy news, man. Anything?
Mandy Rose is getting an OnlyFans? I mean, it's apparently titillating. I don't know.
Yeah.
I said it with a straight face. Thank you.
Yeah, you did. You did. And that's something, man. That's a real skill.
Thank you. You
Yeah.
could say that I was made abreast of that right after it happened.
Wow. Just bearing all these puns. Laying them down with efficiency.
It's really revealing, to be completely honest with you.
And in a sheer stark contrast to my own punnery.
Well, let me undress some more news for you. With the different brands being on different networks. What?
Nothing. We've been making a lot of interesting puns, Kidder, and all of a sudden you were like, huh? And
Yeah? It's, what? I'm just pausing for effect.
yeah.
Just doing things. So SmackDown, as we know, is on Fox, and Fox has not been terribly happy with the ratings because they paid some ungodly amount of money for things that are not the way that they're supposed to be. So apparently USA has agreed to, with NBC Universal being the people on top here, agreed to a 5-year domestic media rights partnership that will bring SmackDown back to USA in October of 24. Additionally, at the end of the 24 into 25 season, WWE will produce 4 primetime specials per year, so at least mid 24 probably through 25, that will air on NBC, which will be the first time WWE will ever air on NBC in primetime. When this happens next year, SmackDown will come exclusively. Sorry, phrasing. SmackDown will be exclusively on NBC Universal as one of TV's longest running episodic programs, regularly rating as the number one show in the 18 to 49 advertising demographic on Friday nights and featuring many superstars, some no longer being there and stripped from the company. So there's a whole press release along with this and the 5-year agreement. Also, there is discussion because in 24, there I get something in my eye here. Raw and NXT are scheduled and contracted for USA through September of 24. So, potentially, number one, other networks, including main broadcasters, could be at the tip, at the very peak of wanting Raw on Monday night. Maybe they want to get Raw on Monday night. We'll never know until September of 2024. Now, NXT is a bundle deal with Raw, apparently. So you get the next thing after you get Raw. They'll be on the same network. So potentially could be on USA still for another 5 years or whatever contract they make. It could potentially move online to streaming only on Peacock, or maybe they'll shorten the name by then to just Cock. Don't know. Then it could also be on one of the main broadcasters, such as just NBC, the Peacock network. We're just really uncertain at this time because it's purely speculation. And hopefully we won't get the shaft and we'll still have access to watch this stuff for free.
when you were reading through this, the kind of press release type thing, I kind of wanted you to go featuring such superstars as Dolph Ziggler and Shelton Benjamin and
Elias. It did not have those people named.
Would have been unfortunate timing. Yeah. So.
Yep. To some, it may have been a bit arousing to see that in the article, especially with what happened this week.
We're going to get, like a month from now when Future Howard is editing this and remembers all of these puns and that he's got to put in that little rim shot sound effect for every single one. He's just going to, I can tell you, he's just going to go, balls.
Kind of a dick move.
Yep. Yeah. So
don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you.
Yeah, something like that. I see you're still drinking yours. I finished my brew.
Well, even though like an eighth of it ended up not where I wanted it to be, it's not really flowing well. It's not. It's a little heavy on the hoppiness for me, which it shouldn't be for a, as they say, summer lager. There's not enough log in it.
Mm.
I'm getting too much of the PAs.
Mm.
But you need a second one. So,
well, I was going to stall and talk about something to give you time to finish that. Unless you're going to tell me it's going to take like, 30, 40 minutes, then I might crack into this thing. But
I mean, the way your week's been going.
Yeah, I haven't even got to some of the interesting things. Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, in a first and rare occurrence, it is What's on Tap Round 2 Drink Howard Solo Edition. Anyway. Well, teaser for in a little bit. I'm going to talk Mortal Kombat. Anyway, Kidder, my second beer of the night, also from the Green Can Experiment, brought to you by Howie Jr. This is from the Goose Island Beer Company. It is out of Chicago. Yeah, it even says here on the can. Born in Chicago, 1988. It is a juicy bear hug hazy IPA. Yeah. Let's see. It is 7.3% alcohol by volume. It is the description it has on here, citrusy haze and juicy waves. So, could be good. And could be bad. We don't know. It was chosen because it was in a green can. Because that's how you should select all your beers. Based on the can. Because that, has never gone wrong in the history of this show. I can smell the hops, Kidder.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. That is like a hoppy orange juice.
Sounds terrible.
Wow. Kidder, you froze and went potato mode. So all I got was, it sounds tear. That was it.
Yeah, even Google censored me from what I had to say.
Oh. That is what that tastes like, is a hoppy fruit juice. I don't know that I like that. I'm going to hold off on a rating for a little bit, but right now I'm leaning pretty hard at like a 2.5.
Well, Good thing that we're just going downhill tonight. Let's see, what other wrestling news? I watched Monday Night Raw in about 10 minutes. And then I watched Dynamite in about 15 minutes. And then watched about the first hour of SmackDown and maybe 8 minutes.
You know, Kidder, if you just gave up on wrestling, you'd have a whole lot of minutes. Well, not really, because you fast forward everything, but you'd have at least 30 minutes. So.
It sounds like an insurance commercial of 10 minutes could save you 20% or more.
Something along those lines.
Sanity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I hope for, interesting things to pop up. And on the WWE side, there hasn't really been a lot. I've been very invested in the LA Knight, segments. He's on fire, and I'm very happy for him because he's making some waves. Good stuff there. John Cena's back, even though you can't really see him a lot. And of course, The Rock showed up. And as mentioned probably last week, I'm sure, movies aren't doing anything, can't do anything legally. And so where can you make a little bit of money? Oh, TV, where you're not affected by the same writer's strike or Screen Actors Guild strike. So there you go.
Which is kind of interesting because, WWE for the longest time has been insistent on hiring screenwriters. Like that's part of their when they hire writers is they want you to have screenwriting experience. So interesting that they're not falling into the same union strike, but
and for all I know, they could have some of those people there, but other people who aren't. Haven't really seen a change in writing or change in the on-screen type of performance, especially with Monday Night Raw. Was it last week? Yeah, last week being the last of the McMahon era officially. But of course, he's still there. So that's not really going to change. And WWE side just kind of floating. Edge's contract is up. There's speculation because he's been removed from all of the WWE properties, websites, and mention. There's speculation that he'll go to AEW and team up with Christian for one final tag run or something. On the AEW side, Christian's been having some fire promos, really good stuff. Love his promos. Let's see. John Moxley beat Orange Cassidy for the International Championship in Chicago at All Out. And this week was AEW Grand Slam. Excuse me. And Rey Fenix faced Moxley for the International Championship and beat him, surprisingly enough. Also, to open the show, it was almost called him Cesaro, but Claudio Castagnoli, the Ring of Honor World Champion, versus Eddie Kingston, who was or is a champion of some kind. It was champion versus champion, but not the WWE champion versus champion. It was like winner takes all. And Eddie Kingston won, which is kind of surprising. Also, first time ever, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. And I think Jericho won. Maybe Sammy won. I was fast forwarding, but the giant heel turn at the end from Sammy, kneeing Jericho in the balls, and then one of the wrestling world's most hated individuals came out, Don Callis, and appears that Sammy has joined the Callis family. Yeah, there you go. Also, Jade Cargill is done with AEW and should be showing up at the Performance Center anytime. And apparently, once she gets trained on WWE policies, she will be going straight to the main roster.
Interesting.
So there's your wrestling news. Pretty much. Unless you have something else that you've heard or think of.
Nope. But I think we even covered some of that last week. Maybe.
Probably, yeah.
It's hard to say.
It's still showing up in the dirt sheets. It's still speculation. So, we want to cover it. Make sure that we have everything covered and we are at the tip of the breaking news 4 weeks after it happens.
That's right. Beer, Blues, and BS, the most relevant podcast on the internet.
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of relevant, Kidder, freshly out, now playable, is MK1. Mortal Kombat 1 is out. It's in the wild. People are playing it. And I took some time this week while I was eating dinner, mostly alone in the Chateau Interpretive Center at night. I watched, because of course people have already put it together, the cutscenes of the story mode so that I could see what the story was for MK1. And I'm going to give a bit of a spoiler-free review here. And I'll put it this way. It was interesting. The whole premise coming off of MK11 was that this was a new era. We had a new person crafting it, and you had Liu Kang crafting his era and such. And really what this is this story is kind of a mystery because you have Liu Kang's era and some mysterious force is interfering and changing some of the destinies that Liu Kang has set in motion, and they're trying to figure out who. I will say, Kidder, the first 2/3, pretty solid storytelling. A few little things that I could sit and nitpick on. It took a little bit to get used to because you kind of had characters in different roles and situations than where they've been before because it's a reboot. They don't have to hold on to really anything from the past. But I will say it felt really kind of small at the beginning because the last few games, the threat level has been up to here. So this was more of bringing it down. If I have a single gripe about the first 2/3 of the story, it was the reason behind the Mortal Kombat tournament was kind of weak because it really kind of came down to we have Earthrealm, we have Outworld, we're fighting this tournament, this Mortal Kombat tournament, because if Earth loses, there's some people in Outworld who will think we're weak and might try to start something. That was a little kind of
Would you also say that for a good majority of this, that evolution is a mystery?
Not really. Not really. I would not say that.
Okay.
But
carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, at about the 2/3 mark, it's they realized, okay, our threat level has not been as great, so we're just going to go from like here and crank it all the way up to like 40, and it gets really kind of almost stupid at the end. So, because it, as I said, it goes from this kind of nice, tight, small, rounded story to all of a sudden like, and now it's apocalyptic.
Escalated quickly.
Yeah, and that kind of, and I've been seeing a lot of other people who have been reacting to it, and that's almost the same criticism that they have. Like the first 2/3, excellent. They do a really great job. Even shining some new light on some real classic characters and actually making them interesting and sympathetic, and so some really kind of cool things. There's some really good chapters in the story. But the last 2/3 is weird. So overall, it's interesting. I don't know how I totally feel about it. It might take a second watch through, but it is like 4 hours long to watch all of the storyline. So in cutscenes. So I mean, it's not like I have all the time in the world to watch 4 hours and such. One thing I do want to point out, though, Kidder, a little bit of a rant from me, because watching this, I got like, I'm curious if anybody has done like a video essay analytics of the story of Mortal Kombat at all. Just looking for somebody who's got a good eye, maybe doing a nice breakdown, talking about interesting themes, things like that. And I started looking for it. And I came across one YouTuber, and I watched some of his stuff, and it drove me nuts because it's very clear that he loves Mortal Kombat, but once Mortal Kombat got bought by Warner Brothers and NetherRealm Studios took over, this guy has not been happy with anything. And like all of his videos are just like him like angrily yelling at, stuff, about basically everything from Mortal Kombat 9 through Mortal Kombat 11. Like I have yet to hear him say anything good about any of them. And I just, it's sad because I'm like, this is the guy who, this is like one of the few people I found who are doing like actual kind of anything on the analytical side of this. And it's just him being upset because, and I kid you not, it's like, you changed my character. I'm not happy with how you portrayed my character. This whole thing sucks. It would be like, that's not really the best example. I was going to say it'd be like, oh, well, here's an example. I am sure, I don't know the actor, you can fill me in, who is now portraying Spock on Strange New Worlds.
Ethan Peck.
I know you said when you were talking to Big D how Ethan Peck he's not really playing off of Zachary Quinto or
Leonard Nimoy.
Thank you. For some reason, I wanted to say Leslie Nielsen, but I knew that was wrong. Howard is tired, and anyway, but like he didn't really like feel like he was beholden to those portrayals. He felt like he could add a little new to the character. But it's like if you saw that and you went, they changed Spock, so Strange New Worlds is terrible.
Some people do say that.
But it's that. It's like the fact that you make a slight change that also is like, this is terrible. The whole thing's awful. These guys are terrible. They should take away Star Trek from them. They shouldn't be making Star Trek anymore. I just, it's a little annoying.
Yeah.
So my little rant. So otherwise, besides the whole Mortal Kombat, Kidder, I found myself watching the YouTube channel of a gentleman by the name of Louis Scott Vargas. He is a Hall of Famer for playing a game that you and I used to play together, Magic the Gathering. And I have been watching him play. During the pandemic, he started streaming himself playing on Magic Online and Magic Arena. I've been watching him because it's, you know me, I love the craft of things. I like watching incredibly intelligent people exercising what they're good at. And it's just fascinating to watch, like, somebody who has made a living playing Magic the Gathering, like, draft a deck on here. So picking the cards and watching as he describes, like, it is almost like the constant stream of consciousness as he's doing it. And he'll go, well, this card is better than this card. If I take this, I can hope that maybe I get this, or this. Oh, look, that came around. Okay, I can take this card because this card will wheel around the draft group because people are going to most likely take this card, this card, this card, and this card, and then watching him play. And it's just been fascinating to watch. Like, I just love watching his mind work and seeing, even when he plays the game, how he thinks through everything. It's just kind of really kind of cool. And it got me inspired to maybe pick up a little something. So allow me to open this live on the air, or, you know, because now we're doing unboxings. That's the true thing. Welcome to the Triple B unboxing. That's right. Triple B now stands for boxes, barrels, and bourbon. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, that's a nice box. I'm going to have to take and very carefully slice the tape. One moment while I try not to cut myself. So, Kidder, I got a little, a little inspired, and interestingly enough, Magic the Gathering has been doing some interesting things as of late, and I just haven't really been in a position to pick up some. But I went out and I tracked down and purchased a couple of specialty cards that have come out because, who could pass up on owning the Magic card version of Godzilla? Yeah. There goes Tokyo. But they didn't just do one version of Godzilla. They maybe have done a couple different versions of Godzilla. And one, they didn't get the rights for it, but Kolga the Titan ape. And that is a clear reference to another famous large movie monster whose poster may be on my floor behind me. So I had to pick those up because I'm a big fan of kaiju, and most of those were like $1 or $2. But then, Kidder, they also did Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has done they have a special set that they do called Secret Lair, where they tend to do things that also, again, not normally in Magic. And they did one, and I was like, ooh, there's a part of me that's like, yes, I need this, but I wasn't going to pay what they wanted to pay for special or for Secret Lair. So I figured I'd wait for it. But Kidder, they actually did a set of Magic the Gathering cards based on Street Fighter. So we have Zangief, Ryu, Ken, Guile, E Honda, Solemn, Chun-Li, and my all-time favorite, Blanca. I had to pick up those just because, again, it's a cross of two of my favorite worlds of Street Fighter and Magic the Gathering. And also, Kidder, just because I could not resist and I thought you would get a kick out of it. I got a Shark Typhoon, a.k.a. Sharknado.
Here it is.
Those were waiting for me when I got home tonight. So,
Very nice.
yeah.
Speaking of Magic the Gathering, unless you magically have more cards to tap.
No.
No. Okay, well, you need to see this then. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen any ads or anything for it. But yes, it's Magic the Gathering Doctor Who.
Not going to lie, Kidder. I saw this many months ago and have already pre-ordered the commander sets for it. So, and I was waiting until they showed up, Kidder, because I did mean to bring this topic up once they arrived. I didn't realize how long the pre-order would be. I was going to be like, Kidder, we used to play Magic. Maybe this would get you back into the game, and I was going to then show you that I had Doctor Who Magic. But
yeah, you talking about it reminded me that this had been around, and so I just pulled it up, and I'm like, okay, and whatever. So pre-order at your store or Amazon. So I went over here and pulled it up, and I went, that is too wibbly wobbly, wallet draining for me. So even though you get all 4 of the commander decks, the evil deck, the blast from the past deck, the timey-wimey deck, and the paradox power deck, each 100 card deck contains 2 traditional foil legendary cards and 98 non-foil cards. That, I am sorry, is too much. Even that's just a glorious card right there. And I bet it's a foil as well. And I mean, this one looks really good for you, as you are very much that fan of the 4th Doctor. I mean, this is just weird. Like, not a fan. Sorry. Like, we've talked about, well, maybe we haven't really talked about it, but the 13th Doctor just got hosed, I feel. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool too, because you get the double-sided tokens, you get a life tracker, a deck box, the sample packs, a rare or mythic rare card. And then, holy crap, even the freaking booster packs are $23. The booster packs from Magic used to be like $3 or $4.
So let me tell you, Kidder, Magic has changed since we used to play. And if you notice, that's not just a booster pack. That is a Doctor Who collector booster. And so collector boosters do not necessarily contain commons nor uncommons. They tend to only be rares and mythics. So that's why they are at a higher price tag, is because of that. So that is why that is the way it is. But I will say a standard booster pack or a set booster will now run you about $6 to get into. So Magic has gotten just incredibly expensive to play, which is why I really haven't gotten into it. And truthfully, for all of the cards that I showed, I went to a spot where you could just buy the singles, and most of them, because these ones were very special, they were a couple of bucks a card. But if you go to those right places, you can find cards for pretty cheap. So That's what I would tell you. But it has gotten to be incredibly expensive, my friend. I'm kind of glad that we're not playing on a regular basis, but I will tell you, this is why I have already pre-ordered the Doctor Who Commander set. And I was going to say, Kidder, maybe, just maybe, if you're up for it, we should do a Triple B Magic Doctor Who game. UV me, it's Commander. Technically, you usually play with 4 players. Maybe we recruit the local geek. He used to play Magic. We would just need a 4th to play. But I have ordered all 4 decks. When they get here, we could totally do that. So I put that up there as something we could do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that way, Kidder, you don't have to buy the cards.
Well, it may be too late because I'm going to at least buy the 60th anniversary David 10th Doctor one because I need to. I mean,
that's a choice.
Right? Oh, it's
mean,
easier if I do that, right?
I was going to say, you could just wait till they come out and probably get just that card for a whole lot less. But
yeah, but then I don't have like the whole deck, and then it doesn't make sense when I play with the entire drawer full of classic Magic.
Yeah.
And then the card itself will probably be like $600, and then I'll never find it. And, just one problem after another.
I don't know that you'll have that much problem finding that one. It's not like the One Ring that they did with the Lord of the Rings set. I don't know if you've heard this. They did one of these Universe Beyond with Lord of the Rings, and one of the cards is the One Ring to rule them all. They did a single printing, and I mean a single card printed in the Mordor script of, instead of your normal English text. And they put it out in a random booster pack for somebody to find. A gentleman found it. He immediately sold it for $2 million to none other than Post Malone. So Posty has gotten the One Ring. So, just let you know. But, well, Kidder, when your deck comes in and my 4 decks come in, I will still have to sleeve them up, give them an old playthrough, and, relive the good old days where we'd sit and play Magic. So
according to this, right now, the 10th Doctor card by itself, a pre-sale would be $15 as a near mint foil.
Yeah, but prices change.
But $15 for one, or $66 for 100.
That is true. And there's probably, truthfully, Kidder, not that you're in like the card selling market, but I mean, most of their Commander products, they usually put in, stuff. They do a lot of reprints of classic cards, but with like, in this case, it will be with like a Doctor Who theme to them and like Doctor Who art to them. And some of those, because they are classics and because they are common in modern, can actually fetch a fairly good price on the market. So, but that's up to you if you want to split it. But I mean, Commander is a different game than the classic Magic the Gathering. I don't know how familiar you are with Commander.
I guess I'm not.
So, for those who maybe don't know, and I'll try and keep it simple, Commander, also known as Elder or EDH, Elder Dragon, what the H stands for. I think it's Highlands. is a game variation where you play with a 100-card deck. In it, in that 100-card deck, besides for basic lands, every card has to have its own different and individual name. So when you bought that deck of 100 cards, Kidder, the majority of it are different. It's not like you get 4 copies of something. It's each card is a different card, except for your basic lands. That's the only thing that you're allowed to have multiples of. You start with 40 life instead of the usual 20. It's usually played as 4-player. You have a commander. That commander starts off the game in the command zone, and you can cast him to your board. If your commander gets destroyed, he does not just go to your graveyard or to exile. He returns back to the command zone, and you can recast him, but at a cost of 2 additional mana for every time that you do that. And it's, again, then it falls kind of into your regular Magic, where it's last person standing. The thing that makes it interesting is a lot of times with Commander, you're playing with cards that will affect multiple players and can have bigger effects. So it tends to be a much more casual version of Magic. So look out, everybody. Howard's going to try and get Kidder to play some Magic. Maybe we'll even record it. Maybe it'll be on this channel.
I mean, that'd probably be better.
I mean, you never know. Could be fun. I mean, I know you probably still have your old decks in order. Mine, I think, have been broken apart. But I would, if you would agree to it, Kidder, I would maybe find the time, dig through my boxes, rebuild my old ping deck that I had in high school, and we could play a rematch of the high school decks.
I still have my decks put together right over here, in fact. And I just spent that money. So for those of you watching, and if you made it to this point, number 1, thank you. Number 2, now we need some more money, please, so we can pay our bills for the next month. Thanks. By the way, it's like $120 a month for us to do this, so it would be awesome if you could help us out. Buy us some beers, please.
Yeah. No, as I said, I'd have to assemble mine. I know where all the cards are. I just separate, because I didn't have the classic decks that you guys had, because the way I got into Magic, my brother had a friend who got into Magic, but his mom was really strict about the card art. So she would not let him keep any of the red or black cards. She thought that those were just not appropriate for him. And so that's what I had, was all of his red and black cards that he gave to my brother. My brother kind of was into Magic, but not quite as much. And so I always had the weirdest, awful, if you could call it a deck. And I remember some of the guys that we used to play with in high school were very diehard into Magic, and they were always kind of surprised at the deck I played, because it was just well, this is just the cards I have. Deal with it. So I'm stalling because Kidder's now digging through his box.
Well, I was looking, and yeah, it's true. You're these are my cards, and I can still beat you. But aside from that, all of mine are right here, and I was trying to find where they were, because I have them together, my white deck and my green deck and my red deck, but I think they're under a bunch of singles.
Yeah. When's the last time you played Magic, Kidder?
would have been like 2016, 17, maybe.
That's fairly recent. I'm kind of surprised at that.
Played a full game. Got smoked, but played a full game.
Interesting. Man, that's probably about the last time I played a game. Was about that same time. Yeah, 2016, 2017.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm really hating having these earbuds and having them be this short. It's very frustrating. Here's my D20.
Yep, the old spin down die.
My limited edition Rio playing cards.
Also good for dancing on the sand.
Could be. Only if her name is Rio. And she's from the Rio Grande.
Ah, one of those episodes.
How about the House of Blues playing cards, huh?
Nice. They're the clear plastics.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. My last opponent, you'll get a kick out of this, Kidder. My last opponent was none other than a gentleman that we have trolled on the show before. I did battle against Lane.
Oh.
And I smoked him. He was playing a strong red-black aggro deck. I was playing a deck that I lovingly named Graveyard Ping Pong. It featured my classic strategy of really cheap creatures that I play for 1 and build up, but also as he killed them and put them in the graveyard, it just made me stronger.
I love it.
He was quite frustrated by it.
Here is my red-white deck, and here's my white deck. They were almost stuck together because of the rubber bands. Didn't want to
Gotta get you some
go.
Deck boxes, man. Guess I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
I mean, the whole thing is the deck box. Like,
listen. Spoilers. You're getting deck boxes for Christmas.
The funny thing is, everybody would always give me crap. Like, why do you have like a 600 card deck? Because I can.
Because I'm going to play all the magics.
I want enough magic that I don't run out of magic.
I forgot that you played massive decks.
Yeah. Because I never wanted to be that guy that ran out of cards. You remember these? The basic instruction comedy skits?
Not really, but...
Oh. Here's one that's actually...
Given enough time and patience, even the most glaring flaws can grow on you. And every member of Picard's bridge crew at some point led an armed attack against the Federation, including Picard. And this ship's mental health counselor, who, in case you never noticed, was the craziest person on the ship. Everyone knew Troy was crazy. Everyone, that is, except Riker. Was that supposed to be funny?
There's part 4 about long-running TV series and comic strips and gratuitous abuse on one character for a cheap laugh, and no, that's stupid, shut up, and then caps locks. I don't know where the other one is, but it's like a phaser going off and something. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. What do we got? What do we got here? I think this might be my fire deck.
Ooh. It's one hot deck.
Mm-hmm. And I see my green deck down there. Yep. There's my fire deck. It's all coming back to me now. The decks are aligning.
Yeah, I think we got to do this. I think we got to, I'll tell you what, kidder. I'll even put on the Hawaiian shirt. You grab your yellow coat.
I don't know if I want to wear that inside. I'm already getting warm.
You can come over. We'll play it in the cave. It's always chilly down here.
Oh. Do we have enough cameras for that?
Maybe, possibly. It's questionable.
My black deck with my black protectors.
Do you need some more of those? I got.
I mean, I could probably switch out the rest of these. That probably would be helpful. And the rubber band is, peeling apart. Whoops. Oh man, you're making me just dig out like everything.
This is I didn't know how well bringing up Magic the Gathering was going to go, but this is kind of a trip down memory lane. I kind of wish I had my set here and I could start pulling together Howard's classic ping deck. For those who maybe aren't familiar with Magic the Gathering, to ping something, it usually meant that you had a creature that only did 1 damage, and usually those were very cheap and you could get them out. My deck being mostly creatures that only did 1 damage, the kind of thing was it would constantly grow, and each turn I could play a new creature, and eventually, oh no, this green deck just exploded. Explosive growth.
Oh man. You ever play 152 card pickup? What?
Anyway, that was always my strategy, was if I could ping you to death before, because the guys that we played with were so hardcore, they were setting up a combo. So you knew they weren't going to win until round 10. That was if they could get all their pieces of their combo. And just sit and chip away at their health constantly. I didn't win a lot, but it was still kind of fun to see me just constantly playing this and why? Why are you playing that? What? This is the stupidest deck. It's what I got.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Just making sure I don't roll over any. Because, with my luck, especially today, it would probably be the one that I like, and it's a foil.
Yeah, I never really cared so much about the foils. That was never my thing, I guess you could say.
And I have this.
Wow. That's a nice deck box.
I forget how it opens.
That's a nice Magic the Puzzle deck box.
Yes. There you go.
Pretty good collection there, good sir.
Yep, that's about the light of day that they've seen in the past 20 years.
Well,
and this made it to college and back.
See, and I didn't take any of the cards to college, and I didn't play anybody then. I played in high school, then we went to college, and then I didn't really pick it up again. And I've just kind of my collection is bigger, but that's because every now and then I will buy a pack. Or there have been a couple of sets that they put out where I've really liked the theming, Innistrad, which was all horror themed, Theros, which was all like Greek mythology themed. But yeah, I haven't really played. As I said, I think Lane was my first opponent since like high school. So almost 20 years later. I was just glad I won. I would have felt really bad if I lost to Lane. But I beat him. Good times. Good times. So, Kidder, I have a don't do that segment for us.
I didn't even know I was muted. I'm talking and it muted me again.
Oh.
Like what the crap? I said that's what Lane gets because he doesn't watch our shows anymore. He doesn't like our episodes. He doesn't bring us comments. Like, what the hell, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just had to share that little piece.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. So, yeah, a fun little "don't do that" segment, Kidder.
Don't do this.
As you know, I'm living in Medora, and every Monday night, Tuesday nights now that my schedule has switched a little bit. After work, I run into Dickinson, and I fill up my tank of gas, so I have gas to get home, and don't have to stop because when it's Friday and I get to go home, I'm going home. Anyway, I was in Walmart this week, and I was hungry. I didn't really want to wait till get back to Medora to cook dinner. I was like, I'm going to buy myself a snack. I want, maybe something like chips, just something I can eat while I drive back. And I saw, Kidder, from Doritos, they had a smoky queso, like snack stick. And I was intrigued. I was like, woohoo. Now, this was part of their Dynamite brand. It might even be Dynasticks. I forget. It was something. But I'm thinking like, okay, smoky queso. I like that. A little bit of heat. I can handle that. Kidder, don't eat these things. They are terrible.
Terrible tasting, terrible spicy.
It's like the first one that you have, the first bite that you have, like it is definitely smoky queso. But then that like artificial spice taste comes through and it burns your tongue and then you don't taste anything else. So after that first little bit, all you get is that artificial spice taste and a burning tongue. I maybe ate like 10 or 12 of them and then I was like, I'm done. I'm not even going to finish this bag. I actually threw it out tonight as I was I stopped at a rest area because I'm like, oh, these are terrible. So
I mean, you might as well, especially if they're garbage.
Just
put them where they belong.
Yeah, so people don't do that. Don't get those things. I don't like. I can enjoy spicy, but I want flavorful spicy. Like if it was really just like that smoky queso and just a nice hint of spice, even if it was on the hotter side, I would have been okay with that. But it was that just the fact that like, great, all I'm tasting is artificial spice. It was almost metallic. It was just like, ugh. I can't even enjoy the smoky queso that was present in the first bite.
Right.
I was very disappointed. So
I mean, I'm disappointed for you, and I wasn't even there.
I know. I mean, so Doritos, if you want to make a spicy queso like chip or a smoky queso chip and leave off the artificial spice crap, you can do that. Please. That'd be good. I'd love to try it. But yeah, the artificial spice was ugh. Ugh. Oh, look, Kidder's got some foils.
Yeah, look what I found. Just a couple oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
Did you just drop all your cards again?
And it just tipped over even though nothing touched it. Just the air. So it's a bird soldier and a soul catcher there, and a tangle wire artifact. With copyright 2001 and 2000.
So here, let me. I'm just curious. So I'm pulling up a site here. Just because of here. So what was one of them? It was a
Tripwire.
Okay. That is an old set. Tripwire. That's like at least $1.03 card.
Oh man.
And that's not even with like the foil. Okay, so anyway, there was that one. And then what was your other one?
Soul Catcher is the name. And then I found another one in my green deck.
Well, that one seems to be closer to like the 59-cent range. And again, I'm not looking at the foils. Oh, well, wait, there's 2 foils. Oh, well, depending on which version you got, one of them is like $10. The other one is like $1.59. I don't know why.
Well, let's see. This is the...
that one, Kidder, looks to be $5.99.
Wow.
Or not, $4.99.
I'm rich.
Yeah. Enjoy.
I got a couple foil ones in my green deck, my forest deck. Burnham Gin.
It $7.99.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I have a Rocks and a Thorn Elemental. I had a couple foils from the day, I guess.
See the rocks. Because this has now become how we're looking up prices for Kidder. There is an app out there called Delver Lens where you can just like scan the card and it will just give you the like price and such. Also, it's a great way to view your collection. Your rocks is $1.79 as a foil. And the Thorn Elemental, we're just switching over to foils. Take a guess, Kidder. Take a guess.
29 cents.
Exactly 29 cents.
Wow.
Big winner on that one.
Thank you. I'm glad I can win.
Yeah.
That's something.
And on that, finally, a happy note for Kidder. Kidder! We've been talking for quite a while. And Howard, sleep good, please. And to do that, that means we got to hit the old cheap plugs. You know, we got to pay for the show somehow.
Well, hopefully with lots of people helping us out by going to streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs and subscribing monthly. Just a couple dollars a month can help feed us starving podcast hosts or feed our need for magic, I guess. I'm also curious now as to what I wanted to do or how I could do it to actually put these 2 plains foil cards. I guess the artifact is just 3 mana, so that one can go wherever. But this one is a 1 plains card, and I don't remember which deck that was. Probably this one. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, solved. I'm gonna start putting stuff places, whatever. So again, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. You can set a monthly subscription, and really we're not asking for much. I mean, hey, if you want to help us out, sponsor the show every month, fantastic. We're looking for minimum $120. So that would be super awesome of you. And we would very much 1,000,000% appreciate it. Also at streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs, there is a merch store. You can join us on there, buy some sweet merch. There's t-shirts, aprons, swimsuits, pint glasses, and much more. Again, beerbluesbs/streamlabs. I had that all backwards, but maybe we'll get that figured out on our website, beerbluesbs.com. That's our main website. And like I said, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Otherwise, we are all over the place, all the audio platforms. We are on Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, as well as iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Player FM, and Podbean. If you have an audio podcast source that you love listening to podcasts on and you finally found us somehow, well, subscribe when you open up your app to whatever audio platform you listen to podcasts on. Search for Beer, Blues, and BS, because guarantee that we are there. Also, well, love for you to join us on YouTube. If you're listening to this, you can watch the video version on YouTube for free. Please give us a thumbs up. Please smash that sub button and help us by sharing this video and our channel, because sharing is caring, and we love for you to help us share the message of the show with everybody else. Just getting together, having some fun, talking some random things like magic cards that I haven't moved or rearranged in almost 10 years, maybe 8. But yeah, appreciate you being here for this episode. Other than that, the main merch store is on Beer Blues and BS's website, beerbluesbs.com. Lots of great stuff there too, including the t-shirts, the pint glasses, sweatshirts, yoga pants, shower curtains, shower mats, pet mats. Lots of cool stuff on there. Backpacks, even a Howard's Cave of Wonder little zip bag, so you can put like your crayons in, and markers and paintbrushes and all kinds of whatever you want. beerbluesbs.com. Just click on merch. And again, it leads us to wishing that you would buy us a beer, maybe buy us a round. It's on there. We'd appreciate it. beerbluesbs.com. So, Howard, I think I hit pretty much all of them for now. Any closing thoughts?
Just that this has been good. This has been slightly therapeutic to get to talk to you, Kidder. It's probably been one of the best parts of my week, and I say that only because I haven't seen my kids yet. So for now, until tomorrow morning when they wake me up, best part of the week so far. Always great to talk to you.
Yeah.
And well, one day, Kidder, we will have the classic matchup, Kidder versus Howard, Magic the Gathering shenanigans. Maybe even, as I said, Local Geek will want to get in on this too. Open invitation, Geek. Bring it. I say that, he's going to whoop us both. If he's even got cards yet, I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, but we'll just end up having to see. So, I suppose we'll just wrap this thing up. Let's get it over with. It's one and done. He's Howard Blues, and I am the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder. Thank you for joining us for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Remember, there's some free beer tomorrow. Keep your glass at least half full, and we will catch you on down that half-sorted, colored deck sort of Tuscan highway. We'll sort this thing out and see you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS.
If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
Testing 3821 5309.
I didn't know this was going to be a test. I'll go with C.
A test of the Triple B broadcasting system.
Well, we know that that's going to fail.
That's why we got to test it.
How is Mr. Kidder doing this evening? Not good.
Well, you know.
I don't know. That's why I asked,
Oh, but you do.
Do I?
Down inside.
Do I?
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was heartburn from the, Taco John's I ate in Dickinson on my way home.
No, that's my life. That's
Now or
the
never?
burn. Yes.
You're not going to live forever?
Not at this rate.
Truthfully, I've never understood what Bon Jovi said was in that next line, so I can't even continue the joke, It's a little mumbly when he gets to that next one, so.
Are you talking like we're living on a prayer?
No, this was, that's my life.
Oh. It's now or never?
Yep.
I don't want to live forever.
Yep. But then what's the next line? Like that was my question. Like I did that joke, but I don't know what the next line is because he always mumbles it a little bit. And with my hearing, it's like I
Well, what do you think it is?
I don't even know. Something along those lines. Sounds about right.
I just want to live while I'm alive.
Oh, that would make sense, yeah.
My heart is like an open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just want to live while I'm alive. 'Cause it's my life.
There we go.
Sorry. Down. It's me, Jennifer Lopez can't live forever. You just put me live. Make them looking open hairy. Like my beans said, did it, Mary. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's Jennifer Lopez.
The Triple B, the podcast that answers all of your lyrical questions and also does hand puppets. Well, you ready?
It's really a broad term because are we ever really ready for this? Am I ever really ready for this? Am I in a safe place?
I can't tell you, that I don't know how safe your basement is. I mean, you do have a bat lift, so. And you're wearing a Silver Snakes jersey, so.
Yeah, so clearly I'm going to win. We already know that.
I mean, I think that's pretty safe.